What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corner Talks podcast. Today I have my good friends here, Eric, Tomj, and Alex Pashalis. What's going on, guys?
Not much.
How's it going, man?
How you? Yeah, I'm doing well, man. How you guys all been? How you guys doing during this crazy time, like we always discuss?
We're good, dude.
I don't know. I'm trying to keep sane. I'm trying to be cool and collected. We're almost there,
Well, I see Alex, you're out of that quarantine haircut. You got a fresh haircut.
I had my cousin come and do it for me.
Oh yeah? There you go. Free of charge, I hope, or no?
Well, I'll give her like $10, encourage her. She's a student trying to make it, let's say. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta encourage everybody.
Corner Talks podcast? That haircut?
As a matter of fact, I did get this haircut for the Corner Talks podcast. It's true.
You
can't lie.
Oh my god.
I told my cousin, I said to her, I'm gonna be on the Corner Talks podcast, so you better make sure it looks good this time. And
buddy, I'm so flattered. Yeah, I'm so flattered. I was getting some hate comments on the last podcast. They were like, "Who's this guy with his haircut?"
Yeah, were they saying that?
Yeah, they were just like, it's just hate. Like on Twitter, they were going at it. They were trying to figure out your handle. They wanted to tag you.
Oh, really? They want to try and cancel me for my hair?
They wanted to cancel you for your hair, man. They wanted to shut me down my YouTube channel. Can't find me.
It was like, it's weird, man. They were saying like either wear a 94 collection hat or just get a haircut.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the only two options. Like,
you know what? Next time I'll come on with a 94 collection t-shirt and a fresh cut, and we'll please everybody.
You know what, man? You just made my day saying that. I love it. Just making those plugs. Everybody, if you haven't bought 94 collection hat or t-shirt, you know where to go. But yeah, having said that, man, a pleasure to have you guys back on the podcast. It's been a while. It's been a short time, but it's also been a while. It feels like, I don't know what's going on with this pandemic, but everything just seems so elongated, one day feels like a year, but it's always great to see you guys. I'm curious, with the lockdown, as we come to an end, it's a third one, crazy, right? What you guys been up to recently? What have you guys been doing to keep busy? Alex, I'll start with you.
Well, you start with me. Well, you know what? I've been watching some movies on Netflix.
Okay, good.
As a matter of fact, I was on a Tarantino binge. Believe it or not.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking.
I was like, you know what? Let's watch Django Unchained. Got to the point where I was like, flipping through movies, and I was like, you know what? Let's watch something good. Django Unchained. I haven't seen that movie, right? Well, I hadn't seen it, and I have to say, like, so far, it's probably like up there with like one of my favorite like movies. I really like that one.
Yeah, a stellar movie. That's the movie that actually got me hooked to Tarantino.
Really?
The theater experience. Yeah, first time theater experience. I watched Inglourious Bastards and I watched Pulp Fiction, but it was on a really small screen and I was like 14. I wasn't really invested. Like, I just came across it on TV. But I remember, going to watch. I don't even know what age I was when I watched those movies, but I remember with Django Unchained. I went with like a couple of cousins and I was immediately immersed. And then I remember being obsessed with who made that movie in the theater, like the music and the cinematography, the direction and the acting. I always say it, like seeing Leonardo DiCaprio in that role specifically, because I always used to be seeing him as like the leading man or the hero, seeing him play a villain. I just fell in love with it. I was turned on by it. I was like, who's the guy that made this movie? Right when it hit the opening shot with the music playing, it just pulled you in. And yeah, man, that's a great film. Is that your favorites out of the Tarantino?
I would say if I'm gonna make a list, I gotta say that's like the first one up there. I liked Inglourious Bastards a lot too. I like, the one thing I like about like Tarantino's movies, like everybody knows it, is like the blood and gore and stuff like that. But like Django's bloody, and I like that. Inglourious Bastards is pretty bloody too. So like Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards. Hateful Eight was kind of slow, I would say. Okay. A lot of talking. But I liked towards the end. I really liked towards the end. It was pretty good. It was like getting through it. Jackie Brown, that was okay. It's a lot of talking, but like, the dynamic that what do you call it? Robert De Niro and like Sam Jackson have. I like that.
Yeah,
like,
that was amazing. The chemistry. Yeah, the on-screen.
The chemistry was good. And Pam Grier was good too. I like actually the guy who plays the Bond guy. I liked his character too. He was pretty good.
Christoph Waltz.
Jackie Brown. No,
Oh
no,
no.
that's not Christoph Waltz. It
Oh,
was
the Bond guy. Oh no, you're talking about. Sorry, my mind went
the
off to Django and Chain again.
yeah,
What's his
yeah,
name?
because I forget his name. Max Cherry is
Yeah,
the character,
yeah, Max
but I
Sure.
forget the
Yeah, but
actor.
yeah, he got nominated for
But
that role too.
yeah, I think he did a really good job on that one.
Yeah,
But Jackie Brown was okay too. But I would have to say like Django Unchained, Glorious Bastards, Pulp Fiction is good too. I would put that probably number three
yeah.
because like, but that's like everybody knows that's like I guess overrated. But I
No,
don't know.
well,
Can I say that?
yeah.
I got a
Honestly,
question.
I think I was telling Eric about this. Is with Pulp Fiction, if you're a writer or you enjoy screenplays, like coming up with ideas from the get, like the origins, you really appreciate that film. The dialogue, just how characters interact with one another. It's weird. It's complex, but it's simplistic, and it
Yeah,
just flows, right? Like it just like you listen to it, and it's like listening to a piece of music. So if you're really like a diehard like writer director and you really have that mindset, I think you can appreciate it even more. Because I was the same way, man. I really thought it was overrated when I
yeah.
first watched it. I was like, "What's happening?" Like they're talking about burgers and milkshakes. I just didn't get it. Everyone was got the joke except me, kind of thing. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
So
I
yo,
think
Eric,
that's
what's your? Oh, sorry, what's that, man?
no.
so
Oh no, I was gonna
say,
say like. Oh, sorry.
no, you
Yeah, go
go.
Eric. Go go
No,
go
you're
go go.
good.
Something
You go, go, go.
We
Me
gotta
go. Okay.
yeah, got a little bit of a delay here. That's why.
All right. I was gonna say no. I watched Pulp Fiction when I was like 15, so like maybe I gotta rewatch it or something. So to
Yeah.
like finally
Give it
like
another watch, man.
might have to
Always recommend that.
rewatch it. Of
Yeah, every
course.
10
Anyway,
years.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Eric.
No, I was gonna say, so like say somebody's listening to the Corner Talks podcast and they haven't watched any Tarantino movies. Do you guys have a recommendation of order for Tarantino movies that what do you start with, and like what is the order that you would recommend somebody watch the Tarantino movies in?
Okay,
Hmm.
so I'll just speak first. My order is the chronology of how he released them. So every time I do a binge of Tarantino, yeah, I watch them. I got the 20-year anniversary, so I got them all lined up, and I was watching them as they were released because I see the progress and growth as a filmmaker, and it also just inspires me because I feel like I'm part of that journey with him, and there's no other way for me like how to see them. You know what I mean? Like I remember researching. You know how they always have these like fan theories of universes, and they were trying to make a whole multiverse, Marvel cinematic universe from his, Tarantino's filmography, and uh, it is possible, but it's way too complicated for me, and I just rather watch them as they are. And it's really cool because he plants seeds through character dialogue or character names throughout the films that appear throughout the filmography, right?
Right.
So yeah, what's your opinion on it, Alex?
I would say probably I don't know. I've seen like this thing where it's like his movies are like it's like all the same universe and like
Mhm.
things like that. So I would probably start with maybe like let's say Django Unchained and then Hateful Eight because it's after the Civil War, and then maybe what would come after that? Inglorious Bastards, let's say, and then like do it in like I guess years of his universe, let's say from the beginning
Right.
to the modern one like I guess like Kill Bill and stuff like that, like
That's interesting. So
present
like chronologically like time, like
in order of time in the movies.
Oh, okay.
That's that's what I want to say.
I might give
So
that a
like
shot. Yeah, I might give that a
starting at
shot.
like 1800 to 2000 and 2007 with Death Proof, let's say. Was that his last like modern day one?
I think so. Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
technically his most recent.
most
Yeah.
recent time one. Yeah,
Hmm.
Death Proof. Death
Yeah.
Proof was good too. I like the
Yeah,
style
Death
of Death
Proof.
Proof.
Yeah,
So
guilty pleasure for sure.
it's a good one.
He's like, it's my worst movie, but is it really? And then like, I don't know. He said something cocky, like a cocky remark once in an interview,
Yeah,
but they
I
claim
like I
it's
like.
his. Yeah, so man.
What is it? They claim it's what?
No, they claim it's his worst movie. Like I even would admit that as a Tarantino
Yeah,
fan.
it's. But
Uh,
you know what? It's got this like kind of it's got this charm to it. Like he really captured
yeah,
that
100%.
grindhouse
Yeah,
aesthetic. I really like. Okay, it's an okay movie, whatever But I
yeah.
like the way like the film looks and like he really stayed faithful to that like grindhouse 70s.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like when I watch it, the biggest thing for me is I get that feeling they're just having fun. Like he's enjoying
Yeah,
himself. You know what I mean? Like you could tell. Like I think that goes with any movie that he makes, but that one particularly. Like even though he admits or he understands it's his not his best work, you still see that he put his as much effort as he could. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's all you can ask for as a filmmaker. I just really love his attitude toward it. That's why I'm smiling, because I've heard him in interviews how he says like, it's my worst film, but come on, if you look at it, it's my best, or some kind of remark. I can't really pinpoint it, but it's a very interesting perspective he has on Death Proof.
Yeah.
And yeah, the rest is history after that, right? With Inglorious Bastards and Django Unchained.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
exactly like he's done period pieces now. So I like that though. He can do like his own little altered history. I like that.
But what's fascinating to me, like just because we're on the subject of Tarantino, is he's able to keep his career going, sustain his career with all like his own movies. Like he's never made a movie for someone else. He's never directed someone else's script.
That's true.
You know what
That's
I mean?
true.
Like he's never been like a
Yeah.
Scorsese or a Spielberg where he had to be hired by a studio to do a project. He never took on, a Suicide Squad, or he did like the next Marvel movie Eternals or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
But he has
he-
he
I,
has sold his scripts, and other people
He
have
uh,
made
has yes, he
Tarantino
has
films.
done that.
yeah, well, that was like really early in his career. Like, and he even regretted that because he saw how like Natural Born Killers was made with Oliver Stone. He said apparently he was like on a date and they were watching and he just stormed out and he like left his date. Yeah, like something crazy. But again, you hear these stories and you believe them. Like I see him doing that, like just like so pissed off about the art that he's just like, I don't give a shit who's with me or
Sounds
what kind
about
of
right. I totally
I make
see
it
it.
look.
Like,
Yeah.
you kidding?
Are you wearing a California Sandwiches t-shirt, Eric?
I am wearing a California sandwiches
Oh
t-shirt.
my God. This guy with the fresh cut, you got the California t-shirt, and I'm wearing the same hat that I've worn since the first podcast. I love it, bro.
I had one the other day, dude. I went to drop some film gear off in Etobicoke, and I grabbed a
There you
California.
go.
Oh, it was so
And you
good.
grabbed a California sandwich. Did you get it? Did you get the veal?
I got the veal. Yeah, of
The
course.
veal, the number one, man.
You got to go for the
Al-
veal, man.
Alex, are you a fan of California sandwiches or you don't know what the hell we're talking
I
about?
haven't been there yet. I haven't
I'm
been
gonna
there yet.
take
Haven't
it.
But
been there.
one of these days, I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna eat a
Eric and you
California.
are both.
I
What's
think
up?
Eric was telling me about California sandwiches like a long time ago, like way back in the day. I haven't been there yet, but I gotta get out there.
Yeah, you guys are boys and you haven't even gone out. He hasn't even
He
taken
hasn't
you out.
he,
Showed you
he
showed you
hasn't
the
had
showed you the hot spots.
he hasn't even had my sandwich yet. The place that I
Oh,
always
you
go
have
to.
you have a Pashalis
I
sandwich or
I have it's called Chica's Chicken. It's down in the junction. It's on Dundas West. I forget the exact number, but just look up Chica's Chicken. Best Nashville hot chicken sandwiches you'll ever have, man. Like
yeah?
really
Okay.
good,
That
like
sounds
fresh.
familiar, but I'll write it down.
They always like you, but you got to order ahead of time because these guys sell out by 3 o'clock. One time I went down with my cousin and he had it ordered like ahead of time, and the guy was like, "You're lucky you ordered it ahead of time because we just sold out." It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, these guys
Yeah.
they're like they're selling chicken, they're frying, and it's one thing I gotta say I don't like about going there. I mean, right now you're lucky you won't stink up like the place. Like you go in there and like because like the kitchen is kind of small and like the place you'll smell like fried chicken. But if you're into that, be my guest. But I don't like smelling like
You got to be
fried
committed.
chicken. So
You got to be committed. Just ask Eric.
that's the
I
that's the yeah.
Yeah, just ask Eric. I'm not kidding, man. I gave him a suggestion. The best location for California sandwiches is in my home area of Vaughan, Maple. This guy
the best.
missioned it. This guy missioned it all the way here, man, just to try it.
I did
Maybe
it.
next time I'm in Vaughan, I gotta go to that one. If you say that's the best one,
That's
No,
the
next time I'm
best
in
one. It
Vaughan,
might be,
Why?
yeah.
The Etobicoke one's the best one. That one's good
Eto-
too, though, Daniel.
Oh,
You
is the
can find
Etobicoke one the best one? I gotta check it out then.
I love the Etobicoke one.
Okay, okay.
which one's the original? Which one's the original location? Probably the Etobicoke.
Actually,
Is there no? Which one's the
is
original?
it? I wouldn't. It's not the Vaughan. No, no, it's not the Maple one for sure.
It would probably be like
There
somewhere
might be
down in
one
the
in
city.
Woodbridge. Yeah, there might be one in Woodbridge. I don't think that's the one.
The one in Vaughn's really good though. Like,
Yeah, well, it's new, right? Like it's nice and fried. I just love it because there's just something different with that sandwich. Because I went to the other location, I think in Woodbridge.
oh
And
yeah,
then you got to go to Vigencina Meats. That's another. That's for steak though. You like steak, Alex?
I do like steak, as a matter of
There
fact.
you go, man. Okay, that's another Maple favorite.
What's the place called? What's the place called?
Vigencina Meats. It's an Italian butcher shop, but they do like
Vigencina Meats. Oh,
yeah.
so like you take it home and you do it yourself.
No. Like you order it there. They have like a hot
Oh,
table.
okay.
But what I'm saying, it's
Oh,
like
okay.
primarily for like butcher meat, right? But
Yeah.
it's just the way they make it. Yeah, they have a whole section, Italian deli, all that stuff, and you can just order, steak sandwich, mushrooms. I love my brio. You guys drink brio?
Yeah, brio's okay.
Italian.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
like
okay, okay. You got to grow up
when
with
I
it. You got to grow up with it.
yeah, well, you gotta be like yeah, you gotta be around it because like I used to get it at Pizza Nova and stuff like that because well that's
Yeah,
where they
yeah,
sell
yeah.
it right, Pizza Nova,
Yeah, of course.
and
Yeah, yeah.
it looks like it's gonna taste like Coca Cola, but it tastes like not like Coca Cola. It's funny,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
100%.
it's okay. It's not bad. It's like it grows on you. Like you have a few sips and it's like you're okay, it's good.
No, because I've been drinking that since I was 3 years old. Like my grandparents didn't
Oh, it's
have
true.
have Coca-Cola, right? So I would ask for Coke and they would give me that.
Daniel drank that instead of water when he was a baby. Just
Yeah, man. And just look at me. It turned out, right?
Hey,
uh,
you look good.
thanks, buddy. Thanks.
I wouldn't
Um,
suspect that you were a Brio drinker from 3 years old. So
no, honestly, man, that was just something. That's what I mean by you got to grow with it because I know friends that think I'm crazy, drinking it. They're like, "What is this?" Like they spit it out. But I think it's one. Like if I tried that now, I don't even think I would love it. Because
no, but yeah,
I'm
it's
set
it's
in
like
my
an acquired
ways.
taste. It's
Exactly,
an acquired taste.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay if I'm
But
at Pizza Nova and I get some, I'll have it.
Pizza Nova, another great place. Even though sometimes
Uh,
the dough, like if you don't eat it hot out of the oven and you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
let
it
it
tastes like
sit for
garbage.
5 minutes, it turns into like the box. You
Yeah,
guys experience that?
it tastes bad. It tastes bad if you don't eat it like hot. No, I know.
Yeah, like the bread underneath. Anyway, I don't know how we got on this topic about pizza and brio, but let's get back. Let's get
Let's
back
get back to
to depressing topics like lockdowns. So yeah, what content have you been or have you been watching any content, Eric? Have you been keeping up to date with anything?
I am wildly not up to date with stuff, to be honest with
This guy's a
you.
busy man.
Haven't been watching very much.
Yeah.
I worked on Saw, the new Saw movie,
Oh, okay.
and that just sort of came out in the States, and I'm hoping it's going to come to Canada in the next
Yeah.
like couple weeks. So I'd like to see that. And yeah, I don't know. That's
Yeah, well, that's fair, man, because up until recently, like I'll discuss the content I've been watching.
yeah.
You've been busy, right? Like you just been doing a whole bunch of things. And something I was actually discussing with some friends is I actually can't believe I'm saying this, but as a filmmaker, sometimes I can't sit and watch a movie. Maybe because I'm so invested in my own projects that I can't sit still. Do you guys experience that here and
Yes.
I
there?
don't know.
No, Eric knows what I'm talking about. Alex, what's your take on this? You think I'm a
I
crazy
don't
guy?
know. I think the only time I guess like I can't watch a movie is like when like I don't know, not in the mood for it. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But when you sit down, like you're ready, like you're not distracted by your phone or anything.
Yeah, no. I feel like if well sometimes I mean like and then I'm like I won't understand what's going on because like I'm like trying to multitask it,
Yeah,
but like if I'm gonna sit down and watch a movie, I'll try to like not like 9.5 times out of 10, I'm like fully invested into a movie, but 0.5%. It's like
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
playing it because I gotta play it, playing a movie because like I'm bored. Let's say.
yeah. No, my biggest thing, and I was telling Eric about this. I remember we had these conversations. Is I feel more focused when I'm at the movie theater. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when I'm
I agree.
home, like everyone wants to stream now, and they want it to be a new norm. But for me, I'm gonna miss that experience if it does go away, because when I sit in that movie theater, I don't feel any obligation to take out my phone. I just feel connected, even if it's a bad movie. I just watch it with the lights off. So it's a really yeah, it's a really memorable experience that way. For me, in terms of content, so you guys haven't watched any of the Best Picture nominees or winners or anything like that
I've
of the
seen a few
Oscars?
of them.
You see Nomadland?
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
Yeah, I dug it. I
Yeah,
dug it. Yeah, I thought the cinematography was great. It's an interesting direction. The pacing is really interesting. Like,
yeah.
just what did you think?
No, the like you just said, the cinematography was really well done, but with regards to the pacing, it really wasn't afraid to go slow. Like really make you absorb those shots. The loneliness, I think that was the tone, right? Of what it was trying to establish for you is that anxiety of, you know, there's no distraction. There wasn't like punchy music or, flashy editing. It was just still shots of her walking, in these open lands. And yeah, it was a very touching, moving story. And it was based on a book that was to highlight like the recession, right? The Great Recession that happened, but it came out in a time of the pandemic, right? Am I delayed here? Can you hear me?
A
Yeah,
little bit like the internet kind of cut out for me.
Oh, cut off. No worries. So what I'm saying is that like it was those movies are like the perfect timing because everyone knew what it was like to be isolated and be on your own and like kind of trapped with your thoughts. So I thought that was an interesting take.
I agree.
And then another movie that I watched recently was called Sound of Metal. You guys watch that?
I haven't, but that's the Riz Ahmed drumming one, right?
Yeah, that was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, it was really well done. I watched it recently. It was on Crave. But yeah, his performance was. I remember him from Nightcrawler. You guys watch Nightcrawler?
Love Nightcrawler, man. Such a good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
was he in that movie?
yeah, man. He played.
He was in that movie?
He played like the
Hold on.
intern journalist that kept getting strung along by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Man, the last time I saw the movie was like maybe like 4 years ago, man.
I watched it
So
recently. I love that movie, man.
it is a good movie, but I haven't seen it in a long time. So like, yeah, I don't remember that he was in there. Wow.
Yeah,
Back
no,
in
it was.
and we watched that.
Yeah, he's come a long way. Like the film was again very well done. It was a great performance by him. You know the premise, right? Like he loses his hearing. So just those, they don't even have to speak. It's just all visual. Like him reacting to like losing that when he first discovers like he's losing his sound, like a sense of hearing, is really frightening. He plays it off really well, and it just taps into those fears. And again, all these movies I noticed for the most of them that I've watched, they all play into that concept of like with the pandemic about being in that like accepting isolation and being in a moment of stillness, because that was the whole point of the movie, that he had to really like be one, accept who he was, and because he was so caught up in his dream, his passion to become this heavy metal musician,
Right.
right? And they lost everything. Like even when they were talking about, well, I don't want to spoil it too much. You guys are probably want to watch it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's on the
watch
list. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna try and
definitely keep
see.
it on the list. So other than like watching content and catching up on that stuff, how have you guys been keeping busy, keeping creative with your filmmaking passion? What about you, Eric? What have you been up to? Any projects in the horizon?
Yeah, man. I'm getting kind of busy prepping to shoot again. Got stuff on the sort of horizon right at the first couple of weeks of June. I got two things back to back, like boom, boom, just right out, like right out of the gate. So that's been taking up a lot. Sort
Yeah,
of went from like being not particularly busy to being like sort of extremely busy in the past like sort of week and a bit. So yeah, that's.
well, you got the producer hat, so you look like you're on a mission.
I mean, I have to, man. It's like I don't have confidence without the hat. It's either I
Once
like.
the hats, so do you live by those hats? Like if I throw on an editor hat, are you become the editor or what's going on?
Yeah, it's just how you. I don't even use like a crew list. You just like you get a hat, and that's just the way it goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because so Eric took it literally when they say I wear all hats
Yeah.
on
I mean,
set, right?
can you imagine if I just pulled it off and there was another one
That's
under
what
it?
I'm saying. No, I'm laughing here because we always throw around as filmmakers. Like when I'm with my colleagues, I always joke around like, yeah, I'm wearing multiple hats. And
Yeah.
Eric comes on with the producer hat. And I'm like, this guy's taking his role serious. Like he's wearing a producer hat.
Should see
I
the
have a
big
catering
backpack
hat.
that says I'm an actor that I have. That's
If you're wearing a catering hat, you better bring out the California sandwiches.
yeah. Okay,
That's your
dude.
one job. You can't mess that up. Bring the
Not a-
brio for Alex Pashalis.
it's not a
Let's
problem.
go.
What about you, Alex? You're an actor. You were explaining on the last podcast. Or was a
Yeah,
comedian, right?
well, I guess comedian, I would like, I'm not a stand-up comic, but I guess
Okay.
the way I would say like comedian is, I guess, like through my writing, comedic writing, let's say,
Yeah.
through like when I make like videos and things like that, I try to incorporate like funny like things. I don't know, but yeah, I've
Yeah.
been like just editing. I've been editing a video that has been in the make, like this thing has been going on forever, but
Oh, okay.
finally this thing is like on the last. It's like a 3-minute video, but it's taken a while to like finally get everything done,
Yeah.
and it should be coming out soon. My YouTube channel, but I got some, like, I'm writing some stuff, like just some like short little like I guess I want to do some like character monologues and kind of like branch into more serious acting stuff.
Yeah.
So want to do some monologues. So I'm like thinking of like, different scenarios I could put myself in, and it's kind of hard to like film outside and things like that, and in public spaces, people with like the whole mask thing and all that. So it's I'm just trying to find like what kind of scenario would work best for like kind of situation we're in right now. But other than that, just yeah, editing, doing some art and stuff like that. Yeah.
But back to the
Photoshop.
acting thing. Yeah, back to the acting thing. What are you? Why aren't you doing it at home? Like, can you pull off monologues at home? Like, are you doing self tapes? Is
I
that what you're trying to
guess
go at?
say it again, sorry.
Is that what you're trying to
Like
do? Like self tapes? Like you're trying to like practice your monologues and things like
I
that?
guess I guess in a way, maybe yeah, like some self tapes, but I think I want to just like create like a I don't know, like a short video with like a monologue in it, like that has to do with like,
Right.
with like some, let's say like a set piece outside or something, sitting on a bench or something, stuff like that. Yeah. So more or less
Yeah.
outside than inside.
Yeah. No, acting. I was actually thinking about the other day because I think Eric knows this. I signed up with a like model acting agency right before the pandemic, and I was all thrilled, excited. I did my headshots, and the pandemic hit, and there was basically very little jobs, very little auditions, especially because I'm so green. I have no work under me. And I was gonna ask for yourself, like, is that something that you see yourself doing as well? Would you want to like do like a modeling gig to kind of get into the industry? Because I know a lot of actors have come that way.
I think I would have to like really get into shape, let's say, if I
Yeah,
was
I
gonna do some
know.
modeling. But
Yeah.
I have like one of my like family friends like said this asked me the same question a while back. They're like, would you like want to do like, modeling or something like that? Because
Right, right.
they know some people that are in that industry. And I was like, what, at the time I was like, I don't know if I could see myself doing that. I don't see myself as like, extremely attractive, let's say, for that kind
Hmm.
of thing. But I think in more recent times, I'm like, what, if there is work there, why not try it,
Yeah, I
So
say I
for
say give it a shot, man.
so I guess, if the time's right and
Yeah.
might have to do something like that.
Well, no, it's just all about like taking that chance or just throwing I would say more throwing yourself in there. You never know who's
Yeah,
watching or who sees you. Like a big thing, I'm not too familiar with the acting world, but do you need like an agent at one point? Is that what you kind of have to get going?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't have one right at the moment,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that you would have to look into. Yeah, it's an interesting it's just interesting take because, like I said, I don't know. I know more behind the scenes than I do with acting. Acting is always like something a curious venture I would want to take. Eric, you're an actor yourself. How did you end up taking on acting? Did it just happen by chance, or we kind of just wearing multiple hats?
No, I mean, I started acting when I was sort of like a kid. That was
Oh,
the big,
okay, wow. So you've had some experience, yeah, like way back.
yeah, and it
Yeah,
was a bit of a thing. And then I sort of, I don't know, I love acting, but if I'm gonna do acting, I really have to be invested in the character that I'm doing. So, that's why doing something like my own film, was a great experience because I was able to sort of really flesh that out, properly. Um, I don't know. It's just acting is a fun endeavor, but it's a tricky one too. Like how do you define your career path as an actor? Like it's such a weird thing because like you need money if you're going to be an actor, like to make money. But how do you also like define what you want to be? It's sort of
yeah,
this weird path you have to go down of like self, you know, define. It's like yeah, you could be a model. Like Alex, I'm sure could be a quite successful model, and then but then what happens? Like you spend all your time modeling and then you're not acting, or like you're a model and then not, what I mean? It's just like,
yeah. You get pigeonholed, like you're saying. You get put into one kind of role because you're trying to keep up with that career, right? Without swaying too much to another uh, kind of role. Because that's something that I remember at film networking events when I was first starting, and I would show like my little videos that I would make, and I would say like, "Oh, I edited this," or "I acted in this," and they said you should decide early on like what you want to do and be, because I've seen a lot of want to be like people that want to be directors stuck in an editor position because they edited more than they directed, and vice versa, right?
like you and I went to those like a ton of networking events for a while there, right? And like, how many
Yeah,
people do you just hand out their acting card and like, I'm an actor, da, 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 da.
yeah,
What would be a much better way to do it is if you somehow got in a film, like if you were able to like make a film yourself or make it
yeah,
like, and then people saw you as an actor, like they went to the film festival and they
yeah,
saw it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And,
So instead of getting somebody's business card and them being like, hey, I'm kind of an actor, you should check me out. Like
mhm.
let the work, like, like put it up there and
Yeah, let the work
then
speak for
the whole
itself. That's what always made me nervous. You made a good point, Eric. Is that's what always made me nervous about that whole acting idea. And I've commended some friends of mine that are actors because they took it to another level. Like exactly what you said is don't just settle for being an actor, be a filmmaker, especially in today's world. And when you're trying to make it, show that you can understand the process of storytelling. Don't just show up for the lines memorized and expect, to be Robert De Niro. Actually understand the process. And a lot of actors today, like Leonardo DiCaprio, I remember Alejandro Inarritu, he said, his role, I mean, he loves working with him as an actor because he is always involved. He's always like, every time they yell cut, he's like behind the camera asking like, what's the process like? What's this? Like, it's not like he's just waiting for the next scene or for the next direction. And you can see why he's so successful is, he doesn't brag about this. He doesn't talk about it in interviews, but I can see, behind the scenes, there's a lot going on than we see. And like you said, man, like handing out those business cards, I remember like, speaking to someone specifically who came to mind. And the whole time it was just like, yeah, I'm an actor. And like, we got to make trailers and we got to like sell ourselves. But it was always like hypothetical. It wasn't like, I'm going to do this, or I've actually started a YouTube channel. Um, just start with something. I think it's the idea of creating. Like Alex, you're editing a video.
Yeah.
That's something that you're very proud of. And the last podcast we were on, you made an 80s video that was so authentic. You
Well, I guess.
transferred
Well,
it onto a
let me just.
VHS tape from the
I
80s
gotta
or
say
something.
no. I gotta say.
Oh, okay.
I want to say that. Like, well, that's kind of like the aesthetic that I go for. So like the next video is gonna
Oh,
have the
right,
same
right.
thing too. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
I guess like I want to stand out. Let's say.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody's doing like HD 60 4K 60 frames.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
nobody's doing 480 30 frames. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
VHS and ruining good footage, ruining it on like a VHS tape and stuff. So
100%.
anyway, yeah.
No, you
But
amaze me
Alex,
that way. Sorry, what was it?
Yeah.
Alex, you're not ruining it. You're authentically ruining it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're
Authentic.
authentic.
That's the
Forget
word.
that. So
That's the word. Exactly.
Messing
Because like
up.
I'm trying to make it look more. I love authenticity. So like if I could
Yeah.
shoot on like an 8mm camera and like make it look like it's like a family footage, let's say like with a like a little I would do it. I mean it's a little cost. It's expensive to do that. So I mean I'll have to stick with like editing it,
This
making
guy's
it
the
look
next
like it.
Tarantino. I love it.
But
Everyone's going digital, and he's the only one 70 mil. He's gonna be that
but
guy. 2050.
like let's say like because VHS is so cheap, you go to the thrift store and you can buy like for $1 you buy like an empty tape.
Oh wow, there you go.
Like a blank tape is like $1, let's say.
Yeah.
And then
There you
a VCR is going to run you like $10. If you have a
Yeah.
PS3, hey, that's perfect. If you already have one, but a PS3 is going to
Okay.
run you like what? Let's say, I'm giving away.
Wait, what's the PS3
my
for?
thing.
What's happening? You
Okay,
lost me
so
on PS3?
all right, exactly. So, the way I do it is I have an old TV. The TV really doesn't matter. You can even probably do it like on a modern TV.
Okay.
But I have an old TV. I got it from a family friend. They had it in their basement, and I asked them if I can have it. And so the way I do this, I have a PS3 running, like going input into the VCR, and then I have the YouTube video because you can put YouTube and stuff and like Netflix and things like that. So I can even like illegally copy movies, but
Yeah, there you go.
it copied onto a tape, which I shouldn't be saying that. But so what I do is I'll upload the video on a private link, and then I'll open it up on the YouTube on the PS3, and then I'll hit record on the VCR, and so it's all being recorded into the tape. So that's the way I do it. Some people do it where they'll record right onto like the VHS tape through like a camcorder, let's say, and then they'll edit it on like their editing software. But I think the way I do it is much like simpler in my, I guess, head. I'll edit it all on like Premiere, send it to YouTube, and then private link, copy it onto a VHS tape, and then I'm gonna like run it back and re-record it into my computer with like a capture device, and then I'll put it back into. So here's the thing: when you like record it onto your computer, it'll post on YouTube as 480, and like the quality drops really bad, and it like looks like crap.
Yeah.
So what I do is I'll put that footage back into Premiere. I'll export it as a 4K, so the quality stays amazing. Like it'll stay like faithful to like the way I recorded it off the VCR, and then I'll send it to YouTube. So if you go on the YouTube video, you'll see it says 4K, but the video isn't actually in 4K. It's just to preserve the quality as the way it is being recorded on my computer. So, I mean, I just gave away my secret thing.
This is great. Yeah, we should. Yeah, definitely
And
trademark this conversation because
whoever was paying attention to that is
yeah, whoever's paying attention to
you're a
that,
real
Alex is providing crash
free
courses on his YouTube
Daniel's gonna
channel.
make this one of the little Corner Talks clips, and it's gonna be like how to make
Yeah,
VHS.
yeah. I just
Maybe
tape
most
it,
watched
Yeah.
one.
and I'll
how
be
to
like,
make it
and then when you make the
like
video, you'll get those angry comments like, "Yo, stop copying Daniel Calderon." Honestly, man, that sounds like a lot of fun, and that just speaks to when you're passionate about something,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
like
It was
understand it. Yeah.
it was frustrating. It was frustrating for a little bit trying to figure out exactly how to do it right because like I mean on the internet there's so many people telling you how to copy VHS, like people have like their family weddings, they want to like
Wow.
digitize it so they can last
Yeah,
forever,
yeah, yeah.
and I was trying to find the perfect way to do it. Somebody, so I went on Amazon and I bought an Elgato capture card, right, like one that's like for doing
Okay.
VHS tapes,
Okay.
and this like the quality, like it would record perfectly fine, like it would look nice on like like the menu screen, like when it was showing you what was happening. But then when you would play it back, it would look so like pixelated and so bad. I was like, man, I can't post this on YouTube. This looks like crap. This looks bad. So I had to find a new way. And then like the Elgato wasn't cheap. I paid like about, I think it was like $100 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, damn, I just wasted $100 on like something, and like my quality looks like crap. Like it looks bad, looks worse than actual VHS quality. So I'm scouring the internet to find, and then like to find the right way to do it, like the right capture card. Somebody on like YouTube says, you got to buy this one here. It's $16. And he showed like his footage. And I was like,
Oh,
dude, this is amazing.
there you
This
go.
quality is like what I'm looking for. So after like a whole year of trying to like figure out what to do, $16 thing works better. It works better than the $100 thing. So,
Wow. So
and
you just kept persistent, man.
it was like, but it was really frustrating because like I was trying to find like this other software to like digitize it with, and that thing wasn't working because it was like made in like 2003 and it was like still on the
Holy
internet, and it was
crap.
barely holding on to like the new softwares that are out, like with like Windows 10 and stuff. So
Wait,
that
so
was
Alex,
like,
let me
yeah,
get this straight. You found the best way to make video bad quality. Is that what you did? Is
yes,
that
exactly. I found the
the
best
most
way to make it look
innovative,
bad.
creative way to make 4K 420 video? Is that
Everyone's
what
trying to
you
push
did?
for 4K, and this guy's going
Exactly.
backwards.
Nothing like 4K
E-
420. That's for sure.
Exactly.
420p.
Exactly. But yeah, it was like, it
If
was
it's
a
being put
really,
on YouTube, it better be in 4K.
I mean, which it's funny because like the video is in 4K, but it's not. So
Right, right. No, man.
but
Honestly, I admire that passion. If anyone's been following, if anyone can kill it, please contact Alex and he will judge you on your abilities because yeah, you still had me at PS3, man. Like I'm still trying to process everything, the capture card too. But you know, because I'm listening to this and I'm saying, when the pandemic happened, I remember like fooling around with styles of editing, and the VHS was one of them. And when you told me that you were so authentic that you had to find a VHS tape and but it had to be from the 80s and you put it on, I was like, has he heard of adjustment layer in Premiere Pro? And you just kind of like tweak the grains and make it, because that's what I
and make it
did.
look bad.
Yeah, like
Well,
I don't
because
know if.
no, I know, yeah, I know you can edit stuff, and like these days with like plugins and things like that, like you can really like, you know,
Yeah.
try and make it like there's one plugin that I saw. It's like it's made by I forget his name, something Giant, and he made like a pretty
Red
good
Giant.
looking VHS. Red Giant, that's the guy,
Okay.
and he's got like a really good looking VHS thing. And then I was like, but you know what, like I want to actually do it. I had this app on my phone like for a while. It's called like the VHS app. It actually does a good job at making it look pretty good, like pretty like authentic. But I really wanted to like do it right. Like I wanted to like really, make it look real. So because I could
Yeah,
like
man.
now I can tell when something is like looks fake. Like I can be like, oh, this guy's using the app. Oh, this guy did it on like Premiere or like After Effects. Like I can see when
Well,
it's done.
I would hope after all those hours you spent
Yeah.
scouring the internet, looking for tutorials and
Quentin,
links.
Quentin wants to preserve film, and Alex wants to preserve VHS. So
I'm
we're
gonna
Yeah,
magnetic tapes.
basically
Let's
the
go.
same
you know
thing.
what? I think you have a better chance of meeting him and you hitting it off with Quentin, because if you talk to me, it's like I just want to make a movie, and he'd probably just say, "Well, it has to be authentic, 70 mil."
Hey, listen, if I could do 70 mil, I would do it too. I tell you.
Yeah, I believe you, man. I believe you. But you know what?
But like,
I actually I really do mean that, man. Like it's really admirable, like that passion you have, that you went for it. And that's what I mean, right? Like you're not just the actor or the comedy, like comedian. I wouldn't say comedian, stand-up comedian, but you're
He's
something
an
more,
actor,
right?
comedian, VHS specialist.
Yeah,
Like,
VHS
Yeah,
specialist. Yeah.
doesn't get much better
VHS
than that.
Did you ever watch Red Letter Media on YouTube? Have you heard of those
Red
guys?
Letter Media.
No?
No.
Okay, they're hilarious.
Sounds
They own a
familiar,
V
but
no, they do this like skit. So they review movies, but they always do it in the backdrop of owning a VHS repair shop, and that's like
Right.
the joke,
oh
like the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
gimmick.
It's
Have
with
you heard
the
of them?
angry video game nerd. Is it with the angry video game nerd?
No, 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 that's not him. No, no, no.
Because
I
I
know who
know
you're
like
talking about, but no.
because they do it all. They also make it their thing look like it's in like a video store too. But
No, no, like they actually like they take it to another level. Like it's very dry humor, and they'll be like
oh okay.
they're
No,
they're
then I no.
they're they're working for this guy, Mr. Plinkett. Have you heard of that name, Mr. Plinkett? No, just
No,
no worries. I'm hitting
the
a
name
wall here, guys.
Red Letter Media does sound familiar though. I might have seen like a thumbnail pop up in like my
Yeah,
recommended,
yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah.
but I've never actually watched the video. So
No, man, they're hilarious, man. It's that's what it is, right? Like you go through, you spend so many hours on YouTube, right, Alex, and you just come across all these characters, all these people that either review movies or give you tutorials on how to improve whatever you're doing, right? Editing,
yeah,
filmmaking, and things like that. Any like particular YouTuber like you come across that catches your eye
like
that
tutorials and like
you would
orders.
recommend? Yeah, like tutorials or like movie
Oh,
reviewers.
I guess if it, I mean, this doesn't have to do with like movies, but like if you're into like
Yeah.
style and things like that, maybe hit up
Okay.
like Teaching Men's Fashion and Alpha M.
Oh wow!
Those
Look at
guys,
this guy.
those guys will help you change your style game from graphic T-shirt and cringe like not dressing right. They'll fix you up and make you look good.
They'll
But
fix you
no,
up and make you look good. Yeah.
they'll help
The
you out.
haircut's
They'll
starting
help
to
you.
make
But
sense now. I can see why we got
yeah,
this fresh cut. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard about nose hair trimmers. Maybe I got to get one of those too. I don't know how bad mine is. I
Look
haven't
at
looked
you,
up hair,
dude. Ladies, look at it. It's a man who can fix the VHS and watches style videos on YouTube. It's,
There
There you
go.
But you know what's funny? You know what's funny is those style videos. They get like people like to hate on those. Because like they're like, oh, they teach you how to be like an alpha male thing, and there's no such thing as an alpha male. It's like, dude, I just want to watch. I just want to make sure I'm looking good and looking sharp. I don't care about
Yeah,
that
man.
stuff.
Don't get
Like,
caught up in all that. I learned that a long time ago because
it's
the
like,
more the more you watch those videos, I have to say, you start to realize they actually contradict each other. Like the person making those videos, they'll make another video that contradicted a video they made like 20 months ago. You know what I mean? Like you just start to see the flaws of what they're saying.
yeah,
Back to what you were saying,
sometimes,
like
yeah,
there's no alpha male and all that stuff. Like best thing to do is just like you said, be yourself, make sure you groom, make sure you
exactly.
keep clean, and make sure you know how to edit a fucking VHS tape.
Yeah, that too.
but not the plug-in way.
Yeah,
not the
not
plugin
the
way.
Daniel Caldron way that
Yeah,
it just does the
no.
adjustment layer.
You gotta
that'll
really. You gotta
that'll
go to the
get you
thrift
no one.
store.
That'll get you no one. That's why I've been struggling.
Yeah.
I've been struggling out here, man. I've just been
You
telling
gotta go
girls
to the
I've been doing-
Value Village, Goodwill, and you gotta buy yourself a VCR and a VHS tape. And if you can't find a blank VHS tape, usually what you can do is, you know what? Let me show you what you can do. Can I show? Can I
Daniel,
just?
Daniel,
listen.
you
He
gotta
has taken over. He has taken over the
file.
podcast.
He's gonna make this whole podcast a VHS for us.
Yeah,
What
it's
you
like, I
can
want to
do-
get back
what-
to my questions about the pandemic.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I'm
What you
teasing.
can
I'm
do-
teasing. But
If you don't have a blank VHS tape, what you can do is I got a VHS tape right here. Okay, so you see this right
this
here.
video isn't sponsored.
It's not sponsored by My Breakfast with Blasty, Andy Kaufman. No. See this thing right here? I don't know if you can see. Okay, you see it's a hole.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So the tapes come from the factory like that, so that you don't, copy, so you don't record on to this tape. So what you can do
Oh.
is you put a piece of like tape over it, and you can like overwrite whatever's on this tape. Yeah.
Just by putting a piece of tape.
Just by putting a piece of tape over it. It's like the same thing with like an audio cassette. They come from the factory with like this thing broken off, so that you don't by mistake overwrite it, right, with your own like TV show movie. So what you can do is you just put a piece of tape right there. You can block that off, and you can
It doesn't
record.
puncture anything. It'll slide right by it.
It'll just, I mean, you'll ruin what is on the actual tape, but
No, for sure.
you'll-
But I'm saying like it won't. Yeah, like that's a great way to bypass it. I had no idea that's amazing.
that's how to do it. I'm sorry if I'm going off. I love talking about this
No,
stuff. I can
Listen,
I can
man,
go on
like,
days talking about
I've never heard someone so passionate about VHSs. to be honest.
analog technology, dude. I even
And you're
know,
Gen
I
Z,
like,
and you're like millennial Gen Z too.
And
So
I'm
you're
a
like throwing
millennial
everybody
Gen
out of the
Z.
water. Yeah, you're just throwing everybody out.
I love that stuff. I love old technology. I'm a big fan of that stuff. So, mixtapes. I even made a mixtape. I don't have it with me, but I made a mixtape with
You made a
like not
mixtape.
but like not like mixtape like today where like, it's my music. It's like I just like literally made a mixtape with like music on it, like, Michael Jackson, whatever. I put it on like a tape, and if my cousin's got a car, he's got like a
Yeah.
1990 Buick Riata, and like we'll go, it's like a convertible, so like we'll pop like our mixtape in and we'll like drive around just for fun.
I feel
But
like this is like a scene from like Stranger Things or some shit.
Daniel, you asked what he was doing during the
Yeah. Hey,
this is this
I
is
love to
how I
know.
keep
I love to know.
this is how I keep busy. I just researching old technology stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry for like going like so far from like,
Eric
actual,
gave
like,
a very simplistic answer, so we can move on to the next topic. I go to
let's
California
go.
sandwiches, but Eric, Alex, I love it, man. I love the transparency. I love
But
it.
yeah, I mean, I'm
No,
passionate
man.
about it. So
Honestly, man, yeah, really cool stuff. I am curious though, like, what made you develop this passion for VHS? Like, was this ever since you were a kid? Was your dad into
I
it? Your
think
family?
yeah, like my family, like we're like, they played a lot of like old like music from like the 80s because that's when they grew up, right? So
Nice, nice. Yeah.
they would play that in the car. I was like really exposed to the music, and then as I got older, I kind of got into like high school. I got into like vaporwave, which is like really like what vaporwave is, or
No idea. I'm just nodding because
so okay, yeah.
sounds
So
like
vaporwave is basically it's like they'll take like samples from like Muzak, like elevator music, and like
okay.
obscure like 80s music, and they'll slow it down and make it sound like you're like I guess I don't know how to explain it. It's like you got to look it up. It's like they slow down music and make it sound like it's more 80s than it really is.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't
Like
know.
it
Look,
has a sound to it. It's a certain sound to it.
yeah, it's got a certain sound to it, and it's like kind of like it's really like the graphics are like Greek statue heads, like busts and stuff, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
pastel colors and things like that. It's like
Oh, okay,
you know,
okay. Oh, so even the
it's
visuals you're saying it's not
even
just
the
the
visuals.
sound?
Yeah, the visual.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
yeah, there's
yeah.
visuals that go along with it too. Like a
Like
lot
the
of like
thick
old and
fonts, like the chrome fonts with the like
yeah,
baby
some chrome
blues and like
fonts
the pinks and stuff. Yeah.
and the pink. A lot of like that pink and blue stuff that
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
on
yeah.
with like vaporwave.
Triangles, like
Uh,
random shapes.
Anime clips, like old like 80s anime clips are like usually with the
That's dope.
visuals with the music. So yeah, so vaporwave. I got into vaporwave in like high school, which if you listen to like vaporwave, like you already like 80s stuff, which I already like the 80s stuff, and yeah, I mean I was just always around like old like technology and stuff. I'm always fascinated by like old technology because it's like so cheap to buy and like play around
Yeah,
with it,
yeah. Yeah.
take it apart and things like that. So yeah, I guess it just started like when I was like a kid. So
Yeah, it's a connection
but
to the past. It's an appreciation of cinema. Like I wish I was more knowledgeable about film. Just understanding how to edit it, like film on it, edit on it, handle it. So I never I kind of like kicked myself. I never really had that experience. Obviously, I'm still young. You never know. Like I might be like yourself, going to thrift shops, picking up that gear. But yeah, I've always been curious what it was like because it's a whole different process, obviously, that we know, right? Like compared to digital.
yeah.
A lot of people that dealt with film will probably tell you it's much less nerve wracking dealing with digital, right? In case film's exposed or catches fire, whatever have you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool, man. Like I said, you're probably like the first person I know that's that passionate about VHS. It's like I have them on my shelves, like Disney movies when I grew up with them, but I just look at them, like you know what I mean. Like it's not the only time that I had that kind of desire to replicate it or emulate it through my work is like I was explaining with the adjustment layer. I was curious like
Yeah.
how I took a footage of these kids like on skateboard going to like the Venice Beach Park when I was in California
Mm.
and like Santa Monica Pier, and I just added that green, that film green, and with the line running through it. And yeah, like again, it just brings back memories of that time. Growing up, the early 2000s, like the music videos that would come out and things like that. So yeah, man, that's really cool stuff. I want to get into like obviously you guys were explaining how you kept busy and how you kept creative, especially you, Alex, with the VHS tapes. I love it. Love the
Yeah.
energy, buddy. And yeah, so what do you look forward to? I heard some great things. There's light at the end of the tunnel with the pandemic. I'll start with you, Eric. Like, what do you look forward to most once things like finally settle down? We can breathe easier.
An embarrassing and simple answer, man. But I mean, like if I could go out for dinner, hit the gym, and then go see a movie at the theater, I mean that would be pretty incredible. I think like to be able to make a movie and then have a wrap party, like
Oh,
a
that's
wrap
cool.
party
Yeah,
without a mask,
yeah,
and like to
yeah.
properly sort of celebrate the accomplishment of like just making a movie is hard enough, right? Let alone like Well, like to finish it, it's like it's a big thing, and it's sort of like right now all these movies I'm making, they're sort of just it just sort of ends and like just sort of like disbands really quickly because of COVID, right? But it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's nice to celebrate that if you can, you know.
yeah. No,
So
my
stuff like that, like just simple.
the simple things, and yeah, that those the simple things. You said it right there, man. Like going out for drinks, going to the movies. That's a big thing for me. They did an SNL sketch recently, where it was Vin Diesel impersonation, just describing all the things about movie theaters, all the glories, all the hiccups, all like the little nuances.
Right.
You know, like the things that came to mind, like a concession stand that's not in use. Like you know how you always see that empty concession, like it's just there. There's like a whole bunch of
Yeah.
food in it, but no one's operating it. Like there's a light that's off. You know, your dad with the popcorn trying to wave you down in the movie theater when it's pitch black and you're trying to get his attention without disrupting anyone. Like I've been in those situations. I don't know. It's just it brought a tear to my eye in a way because I forgot how much I missed going to the movies in that year.
Soon, dude. Soon.
Yeah, yeah, very soon, man. Yeah, and we should definitely grab catch a movie together, all three of us. You know, like
Can't wait. I would love to.
Yeah. Let's do
hopefully,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll line them up. It's yeah, the greatest experience, like just watching it. People like I said, they say, oh, I'll watch it at home, watch it on the phone, but movie theater, man, everyone's in it, everyone's watching it, everyone's glued to the screen. What about you, Alex? What's your opinions? Are you excited for movie theaters? Are you
I would have. Yeah, I'm excited to go back to the movie theaters. I would have to say the same thing that Eric said: going out for dinner, hitting a workout, and then like going to a movie. But yeah, like the movie theater. You know what? I was going through like I had to like put my jacket to get washed, and I looked in the pocket, and there was a movie ticket from like 2019 Avengers, and I was like,
oh
man, I think it
yeah,
was Endgame, and I was like, man,
the
no,
last
Endgame,
big kind of
Yeah,
blockbuster?
and
Yeah,
Infinity War,
Endgame,
Endgame,
bro. Yeah,
Endgame.
yeah, you're right.
I
Yeah,
watched that. I actually watched that one. I think with Eric. Did we watch that one together, Eric?
nice.
of course
We saw
I
it.
did. Opening night, we were there watching
Opening
it.
Was it
night.
opening night? Was
Of
it opening
course, it
night?
was
Oh
opening night.
man.
Kidding me?
But but yeah. So it's like I found that ticket in my pocket, and then because I haven't worn this jacket in a long time. Don't think I'm like dirty and I don't wear. I don't
Yeah,
wash
no,
my
no,
jacket in
it's
like
all
2 years.
good,
Don't
bro.
worry.
It's like, it was
No
an
one's
old.
judging you.
He's a
Exactly. It's an old jacket.
expert.
No.
He doesn't clean his jacket. It's a problem.
Yeah,
it
yeah. He
was an
could
old
do
jacket. It was an old
VHS
one.
tapes, but he can't clean the jacket.
Can't clean my jacket. I know how to do
No,
VHS
no,
tapes.
no. You're all good.
But no, it was an old jacket. But like looking in the pocket and like I was looking, I was like, man, that's like one of the last movies I saw like
Yeah,
in like the
yeah,
theaters. And it was like I showed it to my brother. I'm like, bro, I'm like, like I can't wait to go back and like see a movie and like have the guy cut my ticket and give it back to me, the stub, and like
yeah.
have the popcorn there, with
Or
the M
forget
and
to
M's
give it
and the
back to you.
drink.
That
Or
happened to me
forget, yeah,
once.
whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I can't wait to go and like see a movie, like the whole experience. Waiting for your friends to show up if you're like early.
yeah.
Kill some
Oh
time
my
at the
god.
arcade, like
Exactly.
play
There you
some like
go.
arcade games and whatever. But yeah, like
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like that's one thing. Like if I used to get there early, like when I used to go with like family friends, like we'd like play it like at the arcade and stuff, play like the games.
Nice.
It'd be fun, and then they would show up and it'd be like a whole big. It was always fun to like go see a movie with like a lot of people. Like we'd have like the whole row pretty much like with just like our family and friends. So like
Yeah,
there was a lot of us, but it was like it's really fun, and that's one thing I miss, I guess.
brother. I
I
relate to
think
what you just. Yeah.
everybody I think would say they would miss going to the movies.
Relation
It's not the same. It's not the same
relationships.
watching like
Yeah. Relationships, friendships, man. I was just gonna say, like, I live out of that movie theater. Like, exactly your point. You go there, you're early, you're waiting for your friends, hit at the arcade. It's just no
Daniel,
better
what's the whole
experience.
movie theater, dude? Like, if you were like to say, like, this is the movie theater that I go to, like, what is your favorite movie theater to go to? Like, where would you go to watch something?
Oh, that's a good question. The one that comes to mind probably had the most memories in, like very nostalgic for me, is at Woodbridge. It's called Von Colossus, I believe.
Right.
Von Cineplex. It used to be called
Oh,
Colossus. That's when you know I've been around this area.
yeah.
And
I remember that one.
you remember, right? With well, it
Yeah,
still
yeah.
has the UFO, but it was just like Colossus, like big letters,
I remember the
faded
letters black on
orange and
on the
black.
highway.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
exactly,
Sorry.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that one probably brings the most memories. Also, the one in I believe it's Richmond Hill, Markham, Silver City,
Silver City, yeah, yeah, classic.
and the
That's
one
another
in
classic one.
Yorkdale.
Yeah.
The one in Yorkdale. These are all the ones that I've had equally the same amount of memories there. Yorkdale. So it's kind of like that trifecta. I tried watching movies at TIFF or trying to get into that, and I don't like. I love it, especially around the festival. Like it's a different. There's something different in the air. Like you feel like you're part of a sophisticated audience. Like you just feel like you're part of the festival. It's not people throwing shit or coughing or like everyone's taking the movie very serious. But the seats, there's something about the seats at the Tip Bell Lightbox. Am I wrong here? Am I shitting on Tip? They're very uncomfortable. Have you
They're
guys ever
very
experienced?
rigid, dude. They're like they don't
Yeah,
recline.
they don't
They're like
recline. Yeah, you just described it. Yeah,
yeah.
they're they're oh my god, I forgot the is it perpendicular? What's the angle?
They are
90 degrees.
Right,
perpendicular. Yeah.
right
Yeah, right
angle, right
angle.
angle.
Yeah. Yeah, right angle, bro. Yeah, because my back, I watched two movies there, The King and The Irishman. And my back was just like effed when I got up. I couldn't enjoy it. And those are long movies, what I just described.
Yeah, man. What'd you think of The King? Do you like that movie?
Yeah, like I'm one of those guys where, yeah, obviously I know it wasn't the best, but I really enjoyed it. What comes to mind for me the most is the opening shot. Like I'm a sucker for shots. Like sometimes that'll save it for me, like a movie. But the opening shot with the sunset, and
Yeah.
you're just like following that soldier, and
Yeah.
he's like speaking to like a guy who's like, bleeding from the throat, and he's like, England is that way, man. Like to the south and in Scotland. Like he was just giving him a whole speech, and
Yeah.
it's so dramatic and like only in the movies, but you love. Like I just eat it up. So yeah,
I
I
love
really
that
enjoyed
Robert
that.
Pattinson accent that he's got going, the French accent that he does
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
movie. It's amazing.
He, yeah, he's a bit of a dark horse, man, because I remember him from Twilight, and I honestly said to myself, I'm like, this guy's done. Like this guy's sold out for this, and maybe he'll be typecast. And I'm so happy, so proud of him that he was so relentless and getting out of that image of that teen heartthrob, because he had so much going for him. Like you just see that range. It's kind of like a Heath Ledger. Like even though he started off as a heartthrob, you knew that he was meant for darker, grittier roles. And I'm looking forward so much to the new Batman. At first I was skeptical. I'm like, what, Robert Pattinson? Nah. Like maybe Batman Beyond.
Nah, dude, it's a great,
And
great
then
choice.
yeah, and then I saw the trailer, man, and I'm just like, I'm in. Like this is a different take.
Yeah.
It's a leaner, fucking cleaner bat. Like this guy's, yeah. He has like the dark mascara kind of leaking down his face when he takes off his mask. You seen those stills?
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah, it looks great, right? So, um, yeah, man. The one theater, because we're on that subject, that I do want to mention is the Cinerama Dome. Uh, that I think it's probably my best experience,
Oh yeah.
just for how different it was. Yeah, other than the fact that like Colossus or Cineplex Vaughn or whatever you want to call it, being nostalgic. The Cinerama Dome in LA.
Yeah.
That was a great experience. That I watched Lawrence of Arabia to Mad World. You guys watch those films?
Yeah, I've been to the
Uh,
Cinema Dome. That's a
Nice.
brilliant spot. It's depressing that it's closing. Like really depressing.
Is it actually is it actually closing indefinite? Like it's done, like permanently?
well, yeah, I saw an
I
Instagram
read.
post saying that it was closed, but like it was
No, because
closing.
I heard that. I thought they would or some celebrity would save it. I didn't know it was actually going to close. That's actually going to make me
I
cry.
thought I was hoping maybe like Netflix would like save it or something, you know. I
No
don't
one
know,
wants to
but
save it, so I'm so happy I got to experience it. My God, wow! I just made it,
I wish I
guys.
could. I wish I could experience it, but hey, I don't think
Oh,
I
you
am.
never got to? Shit. Yeah.
No, I never got out to LA. So
Oh, you never been to LA, buddy?
no, for a
No.
guy that likes movies, I've been and like really into like the whole like acting and like film scene. No, I haven't been to LA.
Nah, because
It's like one.
Alex, you're the. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's like it's like I want to go to LA, but at the same time, it's like, man, do I like? There's so many people like me here. You know, do I really want to like go and see
Ah.
how many like people are not making it? I just don't
Oh,
want
okay.
to put myself, because like
Very
a lot of people go
competitive.
to LA. Yeah, it's a very competitive thing. So like I
Yeah.
don't want to see it. I don't want to be there and be like,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
people here who are in the same. If I don't see it, I don't know what's going on. So I don't. But
Alex is gonna make the biggest flex that when he goes to LA, it's because he's fucking staying there.
Alex is
imagine.
Like,
gonna go there to move into his new house. That's what he's gonna do.
That's the.
like I remember when I first
Yeah.
went to LA, I was 17 with my family,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
made like some cheesy ass like speech to myself, and I'm like, next time I come here, I'm gonna stay here for good. And I ended up going at 25, and I didn't stay. I went for a vacation by myself for like 2 weeks. But it's like, and I said it again. I'm like, next time next time I come, it'll be for sure. But yeah, man, you gotta find something to keep you moving. You made a good point though. Yeah, LA is very competitive. I, for the longest time, I think I was telling Eric this, thought that you had to be there to make it happen. And that's all I pictured myself as being in LA. And I tried actually many times building connections and a few contacts that offered me to, go out there, not for like film, but more so get a job in marketing and find my way in there, maybe get like a visa. But I remember sitting down with my cousin once, and because she's in the entertainment industry as well, and she was explaining to me like, listen, I'm going to tell you this, like you have something going for you, but at the same time, you're not at the level that you're ready to go to LA. If you go to LA, it's going to be a big waste of time because there are people so much more experienced, and it's going to be so competitive that you better take advantage here in Toronto because it is a hub. Build your contacts, build your friendships, like with you guys, and start with people at a similar level and grow from there. Because when you do make that move to LA, get ready because it's like you said, Alex, everyone's trying to make it. I
Yeah.
remember standing in line at the Cinerama Dome, and the guy was shooting the shit with me. Started a conversation. He's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm in marketing, but I'm a filmmaker at heart, and that's what I want to do. Whatever." And he's like, "Oh, that's great. Whatever." And I turned around. And I'm like, "You a filmmaker too?" He's like, "How'd you know?" I'm like, "No, I just was joking. Like, what do you do?" And he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm just teasing you, man. I'm actually an assistant director for this project." And I'm like, "Oh, but I thought you said you were an accountant." He's like, no, I do both. And you'll come across so many people that are doing so many different things. One guy's working in accounting, one guy's an assistant director, one guy's in catering. He works at Starbucks. They're working all these different jobs, and it's inspiring in a way. Everyone's trying to make it. Everyone's trying to do something. A lot of people that moved out there that are working at shoe stores, retail and things like that, but they're doing gigs on the side. And I can see why if you can make the move, you can afford it. If you find yourself in that situation, it really is a beautiful place. Like the sun's always shining. There's people filming left and right. I remember traveling through the city. There's about like 3 or 4 teams, probably around our age, of guys that look like us, calling the shots, making these little videos. And you see that in Toronto, but you don't. You know what I mean? Like you don't see everyone in that mindset in that field unless you really look out for it. Like I came across Eric because of a networking event. I didn't see him on the street shooting a film. I probably would have eventually, but I remember in
You
Los
got there.
Angeles, yeah, and don't talk to me, get the fuck off my side. Hey Eric, remember me? I recommended California sandwiches at Maple. But yeah, it's a different world, man. But yeah, you'll have your time. Maybe we can all venture out there together.
When this blows
Silicon
over, that'd
Valley,
be kind of fun too.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I know a lot of filmmakers are eventually planning to make the move. You have that in those. Do you have that in your sights, Eric? One day, or you're kind of just taking it as it
Yeah,
is?
man. I know lots. I go out there a fair amount, and I know lots of
Nice.
people out there. Yeah, absolutely. At some point, you know.
Do you see yourself making them like when do you think you'll make the move, or will you make the move? It doesn't matter to you, like going to Los Angeles. Do you buy
You
into
gotta
that whole
go to
thing?
Los Angeles with something to show, man. You can't just go
Yeah,
there and be like
yeah,
trying to. You go there when you have like something to push,
yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Don't waste your time going there if you don't have anything to push. So
yeah. It's true, man.
yeah,
It's true. Yeah, I was
couple,
always curious. I
yeah,
was always curious. Yeah, on your thoughts on that.
yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
man.
Yeah.
Well, our time will come, boys. Our time will come, and we'll all be laughing. I'm serious. We'll all look back at this
Go to
podcast and
Los
It's
say,
true.
Angeles. We're gonna make
"Remember
an
that time when
authentic
Alex didn't
VHS
go?"
home video of us there, and it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want a VHS. Yeah, I'm gonna hire you as my BTS guy. You're gonna be taking all my social media content with VHS filter.
No, it would have to be on
It'd
a
be
real.
amazing.
Oh,
You
and
know,
have
it's
you?
gonna be like
Does
It
anyone
would have to be on
have?
a. Anybody have a
Does
real?
anyone have a VHS player?
this is people are
It
gonna
would,
be like, God, that looks awful, and Alex is gonna be
Yeah,
like, I know it's authentic, it's
he's gonna go
amazing,
around with
it's
the
the
fucking.
real. It's the real deal.
it's a
We got the
real.
thing
You're
on
gonna be you're gonna be following me with that old school VHS tape recorder,
with
like
big
film
cameras.
film recorder. Yeah, and be like, "What?"
I'd be going around
He's
like
authentic, guys. He's authentic. He's authentic. Yeah,
he's making it look real. Okay,
yeah. He's
guys.
making it look real.
He's all
You
about the
ever heard of
authenticity.
cinema?
Yeah, exactly. He goes to the Cinerama though. He's like, "Fuck." It's still boarded up. They haven't taken it down.
Oh
All
my
good, bro. Yeah, pleasure having you guys on the podcast again. Thanks again for taking the time, discussing what you guys been up to. It's very inspiring, especially you, Alex, man. I love the energy. I love the drive.
Ah.
Uh,
Thank you.
VHS, if you're still around, sponsor this guy because He loves it.
Let's go.
It's technology.
JVC VHS tapes. If you want to sponsor me, I'm just kidding. They're not
Yeah,
making
man.
VHS tapes. The last one was probably made in like 2009. So
Oh, really? Well, you even know the history. I don't even know that.
yeah. No, I think the last movie
It's gonna be like September 22nd on 2009 at exactly 4:30.
Yeah.
They take the last VHS tape.
I think if I'm not wrong, I think the last tape did like the last like Hollywood movie to be released on tape was in 2009. I think. Hold on a second. I want to look this up because I don't want to be wrong. Last commercially
He had a moment of silence when it happened.
All right.
VHS tape. I'm sorry, guys. I really want to know.
Please stand by, everyone.
Sorry. In 2006, 2006 was the last time. It was the last Hollywood movie on a VHS tape. So not 2009. I was wrong by 3 years. 2006.
And that's when Blu-ray started making their introduction. So
Exactly. So they kind of
they saw Blu-ray and they're just like, yeah, we're not out.
Hey, this is better than
No, they basically said, yeah, we're not trying. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you again. Appreciate you having you guys on the podcast. Thank you again to everybody listening. Plan to have more of these conversations. Always a pleasure. Document our journey. One day we'll be in Los Angeles having our own podcast. You know what I mean? With California sandwiches in California. So yeah. Until then, guys, we'll talk soon. Take care.